Power Talk on Newer Television.
Good evening. Happy Monday. Happy end of 2019. And this is Power Talk, and I'm your host, Adrienne. I'm so excited that you have chosen to be with me tonight because I've got some great information to share with you. My guest tonight is Alexis Brink. She is a practitioner of the art of Shin, and she's going to explain to us what that's all about. She's also the president of the Gentian Institute in New York City, and this is an amazing book.
Thank you.
And it's designed to teach people how to do this healing work themselves. And I have been using her work now, and I've been going through the flows, and I'm feeling really great. So how does it get any better than that?
Right. So I'm glad you like it. That's very important. And that's a good book because it's very little known to people, and to make it accessible and known to everybody, you can just pick it up and start using it, which is what you did. It's perfect.
Exactly. And it's very interesting because I live in little bitty Tallahassee, Florida, not a big city, not a major metropolitan area. There is actually a woman here who does this work.
It's wonderful. So there's practitioners really all over the world. So
I'm going to book an appointment with her after the first of the year because I do want to experience something more than just what I've been doing to myself.
Well, I think that's a very good place to start. Even though you can start with the book and starting practicing the self-help, there are a lot of practitioners. So going to a practitioner is a little bit of a different experience.
And I'm looking forward to doing that. So tell us a little bit about you, Alexis, and how did you discover Shin?
Well, I got into it 30 years ago. I came from Holland to be a dancer in New York, and I had this knee injury through the dancing. And a friend of mine took me to watch a session, and after his session, the woman who was treating him said to me, "So what's with you?" And I said, "I have this knee problem." And she said, "Oh, we don't call them problems, we call them projects." And because they're fun and we work with them. And she did something with my little toes, and I was able to go back to rehearsals the next day. And she became my teacher. Her name is Philomena Dooley. And I've been studying and practicing and working with this ever since. So it's 30 years ago now.
Okay, so I got to ask you this one. I didn't find a fix in here for a knee project, and I have a knee that is bone on bone, and I would like to, in fact, that's why I was going to make this appointment with this woman to see what she could do. So what do you do with your little toes to fix bone on the knee?
Well, okay. So is your pain more over the kneecap or on the side?
It's on the side, and it really only hurts when I go up and down stairs.
Okay. So if it's on the side, since we're on video here, I can actually show you.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Right. So you're going to hold, and I'm really cozy here in my studio. It's a spiritual gangster t-shirt.
Okay.
But, so anyway, you can hold the inside of your knee, and the back of the knee, the outside, which is here, which I'm going to show you here.
Okay.
2 points at the same time.
Okay.
Inside of the knee and the outside of the knee. And that's how I got into it. And you can just, even while we're talking, you can hold it.
I'm doing it.
And just, you will feel a tightness in there. You will feel some congestion with your fingertips. Can you feel that? Well, take a breath, first of all. Take a breath.
Okay.
And so just hold. If you would compare the other side, your other leg, you would probably feel that this one is a little bit tighter. So you go to the tight spot and you just hold it. And you wait till you feel a pulsation come in the two different spots. And that's when the energy starts to spiral.
I'm feeling the energy now.
Yeah? Yeah. So you just stay with that. And that really just, I was able to maintain it, forever. And I never had a knee project again.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, so viewers, you've already got one tip from Alexis on how to start your own self-healing projects. I love it. So what exactly is Gentian?
Well, it's a form of energy medicine, and it comes from Japan. So in the East, these kind of modalities are used as medicine because when energy flows correctly in the body and uninterruptedly, the body can heal itself. So in the West here, we look at symptoms. What is the symptom? Where's my pain?
Mm-hmm.
And we treat the symptom, where in the East we go to the cause of the project. Why is it there? And that has something to do with the energy flow in the body.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And so in your book, you talk about the different energy flows. What is that all about?
Well, most people have heard of meridians before, and there are 12 of them. We call them organ functions. And so there's 12 different organ functions, and they move through in different pathways through the body.
Mm-hmm.
And when they are in harmony, then we are healthy. So in the art of Gentian, we use 26 locations, 26 on the right and 26 on the left side of the body. And these are areas that we hold. And by holding those in specific sequences, the energy will start to flow and the body can heal itself. And since we're here in my studio, this is where I work. This is your Mirai, and he's the father of the art of Gentian, or he named it Gentian Jitsu.
Okay. Yeah, that's what the lady said that she did.
Yes. Yeah. So it's the same thing. Jitsu means art, but because it's our mission at the Gentian Institute to make it more known, I'm calling it the art of Gentian because it's just easier to remember than Gentian Jitsu.
I like that because when I first met this woman, it was at a networking meeting, and she stood up and introduced herself, and she said that she did Gentian Jitsu, and I thought it was some kind of karate. I didn't get it.
Exactly. And at first, it took me a week. It took me a whole seminar to learn to say Gentian Jitsu. So therefore, the art of Gentian I thought was easier, but it's the same. It's exactly the same work. So yeah, please go see this lady.
So these points that you're talking about holding on the body, are these the things you call safety energy locations?
Yes, they're safety energy locations, and they act as friendly warning signs. So when we get stressed or we have environmental issues or genetic predispositions, they tend to close and lock. And that's when the energy starts to stop flowing in the right direction. So by holding them in different sequences, or just even one hold, like what I just showed you, they dissolve and you feel it. Like when you hold it, it feels like a little gridlock or a little congestion. And then when you hold it and the energy starts to move, it opens up and the energy can flow through it again.
Yeah, because, I've always known deep inside that the body would heal itself if I would get out of its way, you know. And most people have told me with my knee, well, like, when are you going to go get your knee replaced?
No.
Everybody gets a knee replaced. I'm like, no,
There's first other things you can do.
Yeah.
You can also go to, I'm going to show you one more, because sometimes the energy, if the cause is in the knee, if the symptom is in the knee, then the cause may be in the opposite shoulder. So if you check your opposite upper arm, if you hold that.
Okay, that's been hurting.
To the knee.
That, my opposite upper arm there's been a pain there.
Yes. Yeah, so that may be related to the knee. So you hold the upper arm and then the opposite inside of the knee. And that will help your knee as well. That's one of the other things that I did for my knee. So you can work with those two things that I just showed you.
Wonderful. Because this place on my arm, I was actually going to ask my acupuncturist when I go there on Friday, what's going on with my arm and why does this hurt? And I'm not sure that he would put that together. He might, but I don't know.
I don't know which one would come first, but we have some tightness in your left upper back.
No, not really.
Well, if there's a tightness here, then there's probably a tightness in your upper back. Which when you go to the practice, these 2 points are hard to hold on yourself. Therefore, you hold the upper arm. But if there's a tightness here, it's related to the upper back area.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So it's really the beautiful thing about Gentian Jitsu. It's really a study of getting to know and help yourself, which is wonderful because we all want to learn more about ourselves. And people who are getting interested in this work are interested in, they don't just want to go to the doctor and get a pill and that And it's not always the end of it, because they treat the symptom and then it may come back later or in a different way.
Exactly. So what different kinds of things, projects, can you treat with this work?
Well, I mean, really anything, because again, once the energy moves correctly in the body heals itself. Mm-hmm. But I see a lot of autoimmune disorders, immune system, keeping the immune system up. So I treat a lot of people who have cancer and even going through the treatment, mm-hmm. Back aches, neck aches, anxiety, depression. I'm treating somebody who is psychotic, and it's been so helpful for him. Wow. He's going to be much more lucid and just really changing a lot. Blood pressure, you name it. I mean, I'll treat it. Very often I treat people who come as a last resort.
Well, and this is one of the things that I found so fascinating by your book, is that in the last half of the book, you've got it's like an encyclopedia of projects. I'm liking your term, that, with pictures to show exactly what you need to hold for whatever the project is.
Yeah, so there's 80 symptoms, and it says, for example, headache, and then it has one simple hold to relieve the headache, which gets the energy to move. And then in the beginning of the book, there's flow patterns that you can use as a daily self-help routine. Mm-hmm. So all of my clients, I teach them the self-help. I teach them, for example, on page 41, you see the main center source. That's a little flow that's 6 steps, and it helps the entire endocrine system. Uh-huh. And it really sets you up for the day, and it balances you. It's called the first 3 flows, the first 3.
Yeah.
And so, for example, that is the flow that I do for myself for sure every day. Or sometimes even when I wake up in the middle of the night. People say, I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep. So this flow, or this first step, will help insomnia. It will help to calm down your whole system, and it will help you to fall asleep. In the morning, it wakes you up, because Gentian Jitsu is a harmonizer. Mm-hmm. So wherever the energy needs to go is where it will go.
Yeah, and I found it fascinating that you can do amazing stuff just by holding each of your fingers.
Yes, because a lot of the issues come from our emotional attitudes. When emotions get stuck, they can cause disease. For example, if you worry a lot, it can cause stomach projects or ulcers. So just by holding your thumb, you can harmonize worry and help stomach and spleen energy. And we know that babies, they suck their thumbs.
Right, yes.
They're self-soothing, and they're helping their digestive system. And so Gentian Jitsu is really a part of our innate wisdom. We really come into the world with it. You see people holding fingers or holding certain points that we're working with in Gentian Jitsu anyway. So this really just brings awareness.
Exactly. So if you are looking to balance your body out, then you can work with the energetic flows first, right? And do all the organ flows. And then if you have specific treatments,
well, you can start anywhere in this book, and the simplest place to start is by holding the fingers, because today you see a lot of anxiety. So, for example, holding the index finger will help to harmonize anxiety.
Okay.
This will help to harmonize anger and the organs associated with it. This will help to harmonize sadness and grief, and, for example, the lungs and breathing. Mm-hmm. And this will help the trying too hard and the heart energy. It helps the emotional things, heart, deep emotional things. So Gentian Jitsu is really a body, mind, and spirit connection also.
It's like quite lovely. It really is.
Yeah, it helps to harmonize our emotions, deep emotions. And so it's a whole, for me, it became a lifetime study, but you can just pick up this book and have fun with it and go for the symptoms. And then you treat it at a causal level anyway, because you work with the energy.
Got it. So how long does a person hold one of these positions or these points that you're holding?
It's a good question. People ask me that all the time. So you can hold it anywhere between 3 and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you see people holding something just for a very short 30 seconds or even shorter, and they're already starting to release it. So there's not really any rules. And the more you start to practice it, the more you will start to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, when you feel the pulsation, that tells you about how the energy is moving. And so that is an awareness. You sit with it, you start to breathe, you feel the pulsation. Let's say you're holding this, you just hold it gently and you will feel the pulsation. That's when the energy starts to spiral to core and spiral back out to surface.
Okay. So I get it. And it's interesting that you say that, because I have noticed that I've had this habit. You said that, asked me if I had a tightness in my shoulder. Well, I've had this habit of just like doing that. Even before I read your book, I'm just sometimes just for no reason. It wasn't like there was a pain there, but I just would be guided to hold that place.
Yes, and so we are guided and we do it innately anyway. This one helps to relieve stress in the body. And you've been pointing out, showing a lot of things on your left side.
Uh-huh.
And the left side of the body tells us about our genetic predispositions and older issues. Mm-hmm. And the right side of the body tells us about our lifestyle and how much we're doing and running and stress. So sometimes people say, oh, I always get things on the right side. So that tells us something about their lifestyle, environment, diet, toxicity, politics, you name it. That would manifest on the right side of the body.
Uh-huh. Okay, so my knee project's on my right side.
It's on the right side, but it's probably related to the left shoulder.
Yes, yeah.
You see, so there is a relationship between the right upper body and the left lower body.
Uh-huh.
So we look at all of that, and in that way we go to the cause. So that's where you really start to study and get to know your own body.
So, the book is a really good place to start working on yourself and beginning to learn this tool. But if I wanted to learn more, what would I do?
Well, I have an institute, and I'm on Facebook a lot. So I do a lot of teachings there. It's called, the Facebook page is called Gentian Institute.
Okay.
And I also have a study group. I also have webinars available through the website at gentianinstitute.com.
Okay.
I have the webinars there. But in this book, it's really a lifetime study already, right? With this book. If you look at 12 organ flows, that's going to take you a while to move through it. And so my clients, they get excited and they're like, oh, I did this spleen flow. Oh, I did this flow and tried it. And they're playing with it. And you kind of know what is good for you. And also in the book, you can see the flow patterns. So let's say you have a pain here. Mm-hmm. You can look at the book and see which flow pattern moves through it. And then you can say, oh, I will do that flow today.
Okay, now is there any way you can hurt yourself with this?
No, there isn't. When you do the self-help, there isn't. Only when you work on others and you overcook them. So if you give them too much. So as a practitioner, I stick to an hour. And the more serious the project, the shorter the work is.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, you can't really do too much on yourself. Now, this book you can also use to practice on loved ones, on your children or your partner. So you can apply the same flows to them, which is great.
I want to hold it up again because it's a lovely book. It's beautifully made, actually, and it's full color pictures that show you exactly how to do everything in it. So,
yeah. And my friend Deepak Chopra endorsed it, right? His quote is, and I'm wearing his sweater. We help each other out. Spiritual gangsters. That's his.
Very good. Yeah. He's one of my idols.
Yes, I was watching him last night speak, and he's just a fantastic speaker. And his message is so clear. And that's exactly what I wanted to do as well, to make it really accessible, because it's so effective and easy, and yet it's so little known. So I really hope that people will learn about it and use it.
Yeah, and I personally am very grateful to you for having codified this and written it in an easy to use manner, because it's very, very helpful personally. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Thank you. And I have 2 college-age kids, and they call me all the time, Mom, what do you do for this? What do you do for that? Either for their friends or for themselves.
Yeah.
So it is really easy to do, and for all ages. Like little children can do it too when they're angry. I had a talk at the Barnes & Noble in New Jersey, and this little boy came up to me and said, "So are you telling me that I can hold my middle finger instead of sticking it out when I'm angry?" And I said, yes, so it's really for all ages, and for older people too, for people, if you have, mental, even for dementia and things like that, the first step of the main center source, like this helps mental clarity. And if it's like, if you forget something, you go, what was it again? What was it again? Right? So again,
so you're doing that innately
natural anyway. Yes. Yeah. Cool. So it's very, very simple, and a big important thing about Gentian Jitsu is also the philosophy, and that's what really drew me in. It's connecting to universal energy and to source energy and to consciousness, and that feels really good.
Yeah. So is it like Reiki?
It's similar, but it's very precise. So Reiki is more general treatment, and this is works very specifically with specific projects. But all these ancient traditions, in a way, are similar, like Ayurveda, acupuncture. They all work with energy flow and not just looking at the symptom.
Yeah, in fact, one of my practitioners over in Turkey, he had heard me complaining about my knee project, and he said, "Jean, take 2 peppercorns and put a Band-Aid on your finger and put the peppercorns right here, and then every couple of hours press and hold for a minute." And I'm like, really? But I did it and it helped.
Yeah,
it's a Korean, I think it's called sujok, something like that. It's a Korean use of seeds and acupressure points.
Yes, yeah, it's so interesting. All these modalities and ancient traditions, of course, they greatly overlap. I mean, if you look at murals, you see people holding each other.
Yes.
So already doing this. Also this, I mean, Jeremiah, he studied all the ancient traditions and the Kojiki records. So there's definitely also a mystical aspect to it. Like the Bible, and it's not religious at all.
Right.
Anybody can practice, but it's the universal energy, which is more concept of the East.
Yes, exactly.
Given that we have it, it's ancestral energy. It's energy from our parents and our great parents and our great parents, that somewhere is a part of us. And so that's what we're working with. And that's our connection to universal energy.
And I think it's so amazing that that we're waking up to this, because, our modern allopathic medicine, like you said, they just want to treat the symptom and make you go away, and rather than going for the cause.
That is right. And today there's so much, for example, anxiety going on and depression, that we can't have all these young kids just on medicine. It's impossible.
Right. Yeah.
And now in colleges, they give credits for mindfulness and meditation courses. And I think it's wonderful, because we have to go back to the source. At some point, life is too fast and it's too much and it's too stressful. Yes. And we have to go back and stop and breathe and hold a finger and get into the breath. There's just no other way. So this is a great way to get there.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this work with the world. It's amazing. And I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show tonight to actually share some of the techniques and get people interested and excited about it. So, folks, go get your book. It's called The Art of Gentian. And you have been speaking with Alexis Brink, the author of it and the president of the Gentian Institute. And next week, we're going to be moving into a brand new year. So first, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. And then next week, my guest is going to be Paul Selig. And he's been on the show, I think, 4 times now with his books. This is his newest book called Beyond the Known Realization. So don't miss that one. I think y'all are going to love it. And until next time, remember, people who take responsibility for their lives create the reality they desire. I love you all. I'm wishing that the 2020 is the best year ever for each and every one of you.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thank you.